Hello, this is Tim with Practical Cycle. Today we're going to learn how to adjust the disc brake pads on a Pedego electric bike. Beginning with the inner brake pad, use a Torx tool, turn toward the front of the bike to move it away from the disc, and towards the back of the bike to move it closer to the disc. Again, towards the front of the bike to move it away from the disc, and towards the back of the bike to move it closer to the disc. The next step is to adjust the outer pad. Again, towards the front of the bike moves it closer to the disc, and towards the back of the bike moves it away from the disc. Towards the front of the bike moves it closer to the disc, towards the back of the bike moves it away from the disc. We want to have just a little space in between the pad and the disc. Notice, as I turn this, the pad moves closer to the disc and away from the disc. Centering the caliper on the disc. There are 4 bolts that hold the caliper on the bike. 2 hold just the bracket and are stationary. The 2 that we're the most concerned with are these on the top that face towards the front of the bike. You take your hex wrench and loosen these, and now you see this caliper can be moved all around like this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to watch on the inside, and we're going to tighten both of these so that we center the caliper on the disc. Now the wheel is actually locked in place and both pads are totally contacting that caliper. Then we tighten these back up. Once these are tight, then we release the tension a couple of turns on each pad. And now the wheel will turn freely. Now, to replace pads, it's simple. Both of these all the way out. Once those 2 bolts are removed, this falls right out of there, and now you can access the pads. To remove the pads, first adjust these all the way out. Both sides, all the way out. Now the pads can be removed. Okay, note these little hooks actually engage this bottom plate from the top. So when you press this in, it's going to connect to that. And that's how you know you've got it all the way in. So you take your new pads and you place this little spring in between them and make a sandwich. Okay, now that you have the sandwich inside the cavity, the final step is to press hard until they click into place. You see how that one went down a little further, and now this one will go down a little further. That way they're clicked completely into place. Reassemble the caliper to the bike in the same position it was before, and at this point both of these are all the way out. To adjust the caliper with the new pads, go ahead and loosen these screws so that it moves around freely. Now, turn this approximately 4 clicks in and do the same on this side. Keep going a little at a time on each side until they're both completely contacting the disc and the wheel won't turn. Now you've centered the caliper on the disc. This is when you can go ahead and tighten these again. In the final step, you'll loosen this a couple turns, loosen this one a couple turns, and the wheel will turn freely. For the final adjustment, you want this lever not to come all the way down to the grip. You want it to end up about right here. So what we'll do, we'll move each pad one click at a time closer to the disc until you have the proper lever adjustment. Okay.